like many Mayagim,
Yom Kippur has its own Masechta. Masechta Yoma. The Medaktikum would say Masechta Yoma. That Masechta, the last Mishnah of Masechta Yoma, finishes off. Amar Rabbi Akiva, Ashreichem Yisrael. Yifni mi'atam mi'mitzaharim, u'mi mitzahir eschem. Avichem shabashamayim. V'ne'emar, mikve Yisrael Hashem. Kishem shemikve mitzahir es atmayim, kach HaKadosh Baruch Hu mitzahir es Yisrael. So, there are two main points in the last Mishnah, the Shita Achareina of Masechta Yoma, the last line, like in the Shtar, which summarizes the entire Masechta. The first thing is Ashreichem Yisrael, and the second thing is Mikveh Yisrael Hashem. Yom Kippur is a mikveh. Yom Kippur is Mekahel. By Yom Kippur, the Torah says, L'fnei Hashem tithoru. And also, Ki bayom hazeh yetaher eschem. Ruchnistic entities can take different forms. A mikveh can be made out of water. 40 sa'ah is a mikveh. A mikveh can be made out of time. The day in Kippur is a mikveh. A mikveh is metahel. It cleanses you. It takes off your tumor. Yom Kippur is metahel. When you are in the day of Yom Kippur, you are in a mikveh. And you're getting a dry cleaning. L'fnei Hashem tithoru. Yom Kippur is the mikveh. In a deeper sense, something I'm afraid to touch upon, the Rabbeinu Shalom appears on Yom Kippur. He himself is the mikveh. Mikveh Yisrael Hashem. The Rabbeinu Shalom is your mikveh. He cleanses you. He's metahel you from all your aveiros. The Gemara tells us, Pasha brings it in Chumash and Pasha Shnoyach, that there are arba'im yom shel yitziras havelad. It takes 40 days for the development of a vlad, of an embryo, until it's formed into either a zacha or a nekeva. And the Mishnah says in Berachos that in the first 40 days, parents can be mispalel if the child should be a zacha or a nekeva. After that, it's too late. It's arba'im yom kaidim yitziras havelad. Av yitziras havelad. And therefore, Rashi says in Parshas Noach, because the Rishayim in the times of the Mabul sinned and they spoiled the kavanah of Yetziras Havelad. Therefore they had a Mabul, Midah Kneged Midah, of 40 days. In the Torah it says, when somebody is over a lav, he gets malchus. Arba'im yakenu. 40 malchus, the Torah says. But we don't, but anybody who learns Gemara, especially in the Sata Malchus, knows that the Bezdin does not get 40 malchus. It's only 39 malchus. But the Torah says, Arba'im yakenu, that is 40 malchus. This could be explained with the Hagdama from the Chedushi Harim, who says, the kavanah of the Baruch Atah Hashem Magen Avraham is has a bchira. He has the privilege of choice to be a tzaddik or a rasha, to do good or to do bad, chas v'shalom. But there's one nekuda, one tiny hidden chamber in his heart where bad doesn't reach, ra doesn't reach. Oid ma'at v'yein rasha, the pasuk says. There's something in every person which remains bad-free, pure. Ra doesn't reach there. Oid ma'at, there's a little in every yid, the ein rasha, and that ma'at, and that little hidden chamber of his heart, is not a rasha there. The desires of a person come from the heart, the life. And it perhaps is divided into 40 parts. Connected the Abon Yom of Yetziras Havelad. There is one day in the Yetziras Havelad where in that point of Yetzirah, the item that has a shaykhus with that day is a direct Yerusha from Avraham Avinu, who was a ma'amin and a tzaddik. And we are all the children of Avraham Avinu. And we have the seeds of Avraham Avinu in ourselves. That nekuda, that little nucleus of Avraham Avinu in every yid, that's ra-proof. Can't be bad. Bad can't reach there. He can have all the desires to do bad, and he could exercise these desires and does bad. But there's a certain nekuda in the bottom of every Yiddish house, of every child, of every descendant of Avraham Avinu, where in that little corner of his heart, he wants to be a tzaddik. So the Chedush Yirim says, Baruch Atah Hashem, that's the pshat of the bracha. Baruch Atah Hashem, Magen Avraham. The Rabbeinu Shalom shields Avraham. In every Yiddish heart, there's a piece of Avraham Avinu in him. And that piece of Avraham Avinu, that little nekuda, that nucleus of Avraham Avinu, cannot be touched by the Yetzer Hara. There he's good. Magen Avraham. With this, we'll understand a Rambam. The Gemara says, Rashi brings it in the Chumash in Vayikra, that he says, when you bring a carbon to the Rabbeinu Shalom, it has to be a l'ratzaynchem. With your wish, you should want to bring the carbon. Your will should be to bring the carbon. What happens if somebody has to bring a carbon and he refuses? So the Gemara says, Makin oisei achayomer roitza ani. The Bezdin gives a malchus until he says, all right, roitza ani, I want to bring the carbon. Because he's supposed to bring it, baratzah. So they give the malchus and they flog him until he says, roitza ani. The kash is very evident, but it's under duress. He doesn't want to bring the carbon. The reason why he says Reitzani is because he's being forced, because he can't take all those matters. But is that a real, genuine Reitzani? So the Rambam says yes. Because in the depths of every Jewish heart, even if he's a Rasha, he wants to be a tzaddik. It's maybe in his subconscious mind, but he wants to be a tzaddik. So, it's his Yetzer Hara, his guf, that rebels against that nekuda of tzidkus in him. But when they give him malchus and his guf suffers, and the guf surrenders, so then the good in him surfaces. Then the Reitza Ani is a true Reitza Ani. This brought from the Chedush Yerim gives color to the beer of the Rambam. Because in the depths of every Jewish heart there is a Reitza Ani. He wants to be good. But his Yetzer Hara covers it up and conceals it. But the Rabbanu Shalom is Magen Avraham. The Rabbanu Shalom shields that tiny nekuda that he has B'Yerusha from Avraham Avinu like a pilot light that whenever he's ready, that pilot light can put all his Ramach Evarim and Shsagidim aflame with Ahavas and Yiras Hashem. It's there, it's hidden. Right, Tani, every Yid in the depths of his heart wants to be a tzaddik, wants to be an Elech HaYid. Therefore, the Torah says, Abam Yakenu. And the Ramban explains over there that there's 40 malchus for being either on a lav because he sinned with all his 40 kaiches of the 40 days of Yitziras Avlad. That's the beer of the Ramban. However, there is one little nekuda in him, one day, in which the nekuda of Avraham Avinu was created in the process of his Yitzirah. So therefore, in that nekuda, he didn't want to do the Aveirah. He only got 39 malchus. In his 40th nekuda, he's a tzaddik. There, the 40th nekuda did not agree that the Aveirah should be done. In that 40th nekuda, his nucleus, the hidden tzidkus in his heart was screaming, I protest, right Ani, I want to be a Melech HaYid. So therefore he only gets 39 malchus. He didn't sin but there was 40 kaiches. Adam Rishon ate from the Yetzer Das, and as his Sfarim explained, there were klalos given to him because of that. If you count all the klalos which were given to Adam Rishon, to Chava, to the Adama, to the Nachash, you can find 39 klalos. Because in the 40th Madreiga, Adam Rishon didn't do any Aveirah. Adam Rishon is the Shayrish of all the Yiddish and Nishanas, even though he is before Avraham Avinu. So, in the 40th Madreiga, he didn't do any Aveirah. That 40th Madreiga was protesting when he ate from the Yetzer Das. And that 40th Madreiga, the 40th day, was screaming, Reitzani, I want to be an Elachid, I don't want to eat from the Yetzer Das. Therefore, on Shabbos, we're not allowed to do the Lamites Malachis. The Lamites Malachis are really Lamites Klalis. Or B'zayis HaPechatayich HaLechem. Before the Yetzer Das, Adam Rishon didn't have to do any Malachis. It was, like it will be, Ma'asad Ravai. Bread, loaves of bread, and suits of clothing would grow on the trees. There won't be any malachis. Everything would be prepared. The malachis come because of the Zayas HaPechatayich HaLechem as the Klara for the Yetzer Das. So there's only 39. In the 40th Madreiga, Adam Rishon had no chet. The same thing you find at the end of the Gemara Tainis, that there was a desire that in 40 years the Yidden who were in the Midbar will die out. And when in the 40th year they went and they every year Tisha B'Av they dug a grave, and some came out alive and some not. But in the 40th year they put themselves into the graves and everybody came out alive. Taisus explains that Rabban Yisrael was Meichel the 40th year. In the 40th Madreiga, the Day HaMidbar didn't sin. There are 40 days of tshuva, starting from Erev Rosh Chodesh Elul, which to us is the first day of Rosh Chodesh Elul, because Elul has 2 days Rosh Chodesh. when Moshe Rabbeinu went up to the house Sinai to get the Luchas Shniyos, and it ends with Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is the 40th day. Yom Kippurim, the 40th day, after doing tshuva for 40 days, a Yid comes to the Madrega of his Reitza Ani. He wants to be an Erlich Yid. And when Yom Kippur comes, the Kaychus of the Ra subsides. And one Kayach dominates. That is the Kayach of Avraham Avinu and every Yid. The Kayach of Reitza Ani. I want to be an Erlich Yid. When you come home, take your calculators and you're going to figure out that Yom Kippur is the Gematria Reitza Ani. It's the day of Reitza Ani. A Yid comes to that Nekuda. He comes into the chamber of his heart, where he reaches that chamber and makes contact with the Nekuda, with the little nucleus of Tzidkus, which he has a Yerusha from Avraham Avinu, which is untouchable by the Yetzer Hara. It's a day without Yetzer Hara, that the Satan cannot be Mekadchei. Like the Gemara says, Satan is Gematria 359. Hasatan 364 rather. 364. Because in the 365th day, Yom Kippur, the Satan has no Shalita. It's the day of Reitza Ani. And just like the Kohen Gadol, in that day, in that great Oyen B'neiretik day, is admitted into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, where no one is admitted the entire year, where the Chol Adam Le'yeh B'Yehol Moyed. Even a Malach isn't allowed to come into there. But on Yom Kippurim, the Shliach of Klal Yisrael, the Kohen Gadol, goes into the Kodesh HaKadosh. And on Yom Kippur, we go into the Kodesh HaKadosh. We make contact with our Kodesh HaKadosh in our heart. Because the Medrash tells us that in every Yiddish heart there is a Beis HaMikdash. And in that Beis HaMikdash there is a Kodesh HaKadosh. We make contact with the Kodesh HaKadosh in the day of Yom Kippur. When we reach the Kodesh HaKadosh, with no Malach, no Mekadchei, no Satan, no Yetzer Hara can enter into that Kodesh HaKadosh. And we make contact, and we open up the doors of our Kodesh HaKadosh, and we are introduced to our pure Yetzer Tov, which is Yetzer Hara free, the Reitza Ani in every Yid. A makom where there's no Kateiga, a makom where there's no Malach. And just as the Kohen Gadol goes into the Kodesh HaKadosh, who represents Klal Yisrael, every Yid on Yom Kippur will find a moment, provided he does tshuva, will find a moment in Yom Kippur, most likely by Ne'ilah, which is like the Sfarim say Ne'ilah, closed up like Minayel Adeles. He locked up with the Rabbanu Shalom alone, with the Shechina alone. No one is admitted, not even a Malach. The Satan can't go in. Contact with the Rabbanu Shalom. Contact with your pure, uncontaminated Yetzer Tov, with the Neshama alone, the Chelek Elokam Yimal. So, on the 40th day, that's Yom Kippur. You reach your 40th Madrega. And Mikveh Yisrael Hashem. You come into the mikveh, which is the Rabbanu Shalom alone. He cleanses you. There are 40 days. The Bnei Yisrael makes note that to make a mikveh kosher, you need 40 sa'ah, 40 certain measurements of water. 40th day is a su'ah. But the mikveh isn't complete yet. It can't cleanse you. And 40 days, the 40th su'ah is added. You have a kosher mikveh. A mikveh which is Messiah. Ashreichem Yisrael. Lifnei mi atem Messiahim. The climax of the Aveda of the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur, the entire Masechta of Masechta Yuma, with the exception of the last, the 8th Perek, all deals with the Aveda of the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur in the Beis HaMikdash. That is the union. That is what Yom Kippur is all about. Every Yid goes into the Beis HaMikdash on Yom Kippur in the ruchniistic sense. And that's why the Gemara says that on Yom Kippur we say the Aveda. In the Tefillah of Musaf of Yom Kippurim, you have in short, the entire Aveda of the Kohen Gadol in the Beis HaMikdash. The climax of his Aveda is when he goes into the Kodesh HaKadosh. The climax of a Yid, when Yom Kippur comes, the 40th day of his mikveh, when his mikveh becomes complete, and it could be Messiah him, the climax of his Aveda is when he goes in, when every Yid, every individual, makes contact and goes into that chamber of his heart, which is the Kodesh HaKadosh. His Yetzer Tov, pure, untouched, unadulterated, uncontaminated Yetzer Tov. Contact with your neshama, which is a chelik of a kamyamal. And every Yid feels a strong desire to come back to the Rabbeinu Shalom. Return to your roots. Return to the Avraham Avinu in yourself, to the Nekudah of Tzaddik, which rejects all Ra, which can't accept Ra. And you become Tov, and you want to be good, and you make up your mind you're going to be good. And the idea is to be Matzliach, to take this along with you the entire coming year. Yom Kippurim is the 40th Su'ah, Mikra Yisrael Hashem. It's the Yovel, coming back, the return. The Shafta Mishaluchu Zasai. You come back to the Rabbeinu Shalom. The Yismach Moshe says a very moving mashal. Somebody was invited to have an audience with the king. He's going to see the king. And buys a suit, very good suit. And he's going to wear this suit when he comes to the king, because when you come to the king you have to be dressed well. You have to be dressed well. As he was handling this suit, the roofer came to fix the roof, and some tar got in the suit. Wow, what did he do? Tar got in my suit. So he takes some turpentine and rubs on it and rubs and tries to get rid of the tar. Now, he gets rid of that, of the tar in the suit. The turpentine dissolves it. But still, with all the turpentine, there's a small little smudge left on the suit. It's not a significant smudge. He can go in the street with that suit. He can go to the office with that suit. But he can't go to the king with that suit. But what should he do? Try to do the turpentine. So he has to go to a very special chemist who knows how to make with chemicals a very special cleaning agent, which is very expensive. And that expert can clean the suit for him and remove any trace of that smudge. So that's what Rabbi Akiva says. On Yom Kippur, we are called for the Rabbeinu Shalom. We're lifted above this world. We go into a world of Olam Haba, not Olam Hazeh. That's what Yom Kippur is. We go into Olam Haba. And the Ruchni is the consent. Shara Melech B'Levush Sak. We have to be dressed well, accordingly. So we did our Zaydas. They smudged us up. We tried to do tshuva, but there's still a smudge left. There's a stain, which our tshuva really, to the best of our ability, can't remove it. So what should we do? We have to go before the king. So we have an expert who knows how to remove that stain. And who is the expert? The Rabbi Shalom B'chvaydi Uriyatzmai. The Rabbi Shalom, he is capable of removing every stain from every Yiddish house. So that's what the Yismach Moshe says. Omer Rabbi Akiva, Ashreichem Yisrael. Fortunate are you, Yisrael. You're going to go before the king. HaMelech. You scream HaMelech on Yom Kippur. Lifnei mi atem mitzarim. You should know before whom you're, and for which purpose you are mitzarim yourself. Why are you cleaning yourself? Why are you doing tshuva? Because you have to come clean before the king, as is fitting before the king. But you can't really remove every stain. But you should know who really cleanses you. The Rabbi Yisrael himself, he's the expert. He knows how to cleanse you. Whatever you can't do, the Rabbi Yisrael will do for you, as long as you do what you can. There are many people that find themselves on Yom Kippur in a dismal situation. They want to do tshuva. That's what they do. There's certain things they can't do tshuva on. Let's say somebody who was in the habit of talking Lashon Hara. Talk, and everybody you can think of. He can't go over to every person that he talked Lashon Hara on. He doesn't know who they are. He doesn't remember. What should he do? How can he do tshuva? Somebody's not very honest in money matters. He guzzles a lot. He doesn't even remember with whom he was dishonest. What should he do? The Chayvos Halavava says, you do what you can. The Rabbi Yisrael will do the rest for you. He will give into the heart of those that you sinned against that they should be meichel everybody. Before Kol Nidrei, we have the Machzayim Tefillah Zaka, and there you have a few lines where you say, I am meichel everybody that sinned against me. If you don't say the whole Tefillah Zaka, at least make it your business before Yom Kippur, or even on Yom Kippur, to say, I'm meichel everybody. And that's what the Rabbi Yisrael will give into the hearts of those that you need mechila from. Since you do what you can, but it's impossible to do the rest, you don't know what you should do. So the Chayvos Halavava says, the Rabbi Yisrael is a Kari Yachem. As long as you do the best of your possible tshuva according to your ability, the Rabbi Yisrael will do the rest to you. And that's what the Yismach Moshe says. Lifnei mi atem mitzarim. You have to come clean, immaculate before the Rabbi Yisrael. But there are some stains that you can't remove. You should know who is really cleansing you. Avichem Shabbat the Rabbi Yisrael. Mikveh Yisrael Hashem, the Rabbi Yisrael is your mikveh. He cleanses you. He is Messiah you. Lifnei Hashem Titharu, Ki Bayayim Hazeh Yitayar Etzem Mikol Chataseichem. Yom Kippur is a day which is Eyan V'Noycha. It's an awesome day. A day of Yirat Shemayim. But Yom Kippur is a happy day. We're being cleaned. It's a day that we should enjoy. Especially this year, when it comes out on Shabbos, as a mitzvah by Shabbos. Even if it doesn't come out on Shabbos. Yom Kippur has ta'anugim. Yom Kippur deprives you of all the inuyim, of all the ta'anugim of Eilam Hazeh. Can't eat, can't drink, your feet hurt, can't wear proper shoes. But we have, instead of that, 5 tefillos, which is full of tainug. An Erlich Yid, somebody who prepares himself well before Yom Kippur, feels a big pleasure, feels a Gan Eden when he says these tefillos. He has contact with the Rabbeinu Shalom. The tefillos are full of Yom Kippur Tikka Cholent and Kudel. It's such a tainug to say those tefillos. You're talking to the Rabbeinu Shalom. And there's something on Yom Kippur which we don't have in any other tefillah. The Rabbeinu Shalom talks back to you. We don't even have it in Rosh Hashanah. We say psukim. We talk to the Rabbeinu Shalom. But on Yom Kippur, the Rabbeinu Shalom talks back to us. And he says in the tefillah, I am going to erase your aveirus. V'ne'emar, the Rabbeinu Shalom says to every Yid, I erase all your aveirus like a cloud that is blown away and the blue sky appears. And the Rabbeinu Shalom begs you, my Yiddish kind, come back to me. Shuva Eilai, Kigi Alaticha. Return to me. Shuva Eilai, come back, my child. I'm going to be Gayali, I'm going to redeem you, I'm going to free you from all your aveirus. The Rabbeinu Shalom talks back to us in the Shemona Esrei of Yom Kippur. A pure Yiddish heart should feel a big tainug in all the tefillos of Yom Kippur. Especially when you come in Shemona Esrei to such psukim, when the Rabbeinu Shalom talks right back to you. It's 5 ta'anugim of Olam Haba. There are silly people that on Yom Kippur, they look at the watch. 6 hours to go till I can eat. 5 hours to go. 4 hours to go. And now a Yid should hold on to Yom Kippur with tooth and nail, not let go, every minute should be so dear to him. He should hope it's always going to be Yom Kippur. You're in Olam Haba. You're in the Rabbeinu Shalom's mikveh. The Rabbeinu Shalom alone is your mikveh. It should be a tainuk to you. You should be mikayim b'kras al Shabbos einig with Yom Kippur. It should be a shad. I give out, Yom Kippur is almost over. I hope Yom Kippur would be forever. So there are 2 people, Chaim and Yankel. Chaim enjoys Yom Kippur. And Yankel keeps on looking at his watch. When would it be over Yom Kippur already? I want to eat. At exactly after Aleinu, by Ma'ariv, a few minutes later, when they both come home, they're both neighbors, they eat the same time. Chaim eats the same time. Yankel eats the same time. Chaim didn't lose anything. He eats. Yankel also eats. But silly Yankel, why did you spoil your Yom Kippur? Your Yom Kippur would have been able to be thousands and thousands times bigger. It would have been a greater Yom Kippur. It would have been much more appreciated b'Shamayim if you would have done it b'Simcha. This is what the Yisait V'Sharash Aveda says. You can eat the same time. You might as well enjoy the Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is an awesome day. Ki hui when the sun take of Kedushas Hayom Ki hui Yom Noira V'Yayim. But it's also a happy day. A happy day for somebody who makes contact with his Kodesh HaGadoshim and feels the happiness of dipping himself in the Rabbeinu Shalom's mikveh and being cleaned by the Rabbeinu Shalom. Shuva Eilai Kigi Alticha. So this is the last line of Masechta Yoma in the Mishnah. You have to do tshuva, you have to try hard, but it's a great day. Amar Rabbi Akiva, Ashreichem Yisrael. Listen to me, Atam Mitzayarem Umi Mitzayareschem. Ashreichem Yisrael. Feel the fortune. Feel how fortunate you are. Ashreichem Yisrael. I'm so lucky. I'm having Yom Kippur. No guy ever had Yom Kippur. And that's how it should be, the approach to Yom Kippur. Now, of course, you have to do tshuva. There are many, many, many things about Yom Kippur that I can't discuss now. Today isn't Yom Kippur, is he supposed to go down and eat lunch now? But I'm sure that your rabbis will prepare you for Yom Kippur, tell you the dinim of tshuva, how to do tshuva, what is required from you, how to be mekashi yourself with Klal Yisrael's tshuva. Hashem Yisrael should help all of you, all of us, should be written down and nechtam b'sefer chayim b'rocha v'sholem v'panasa toiv v'gzeiros toivos yeshuos v'nechamos. We are no Klal Yisrael, and we should be zeicha to the geula shleima with Mashiach Tzidkeinu v'meir b'yameinu. Agamach Hashem Tzayva.